We weren't able to get Captain America physically on our stage, but we didn't want to leave you without a demo, so we brought Morgan Roberts, producer at Sega, to come show off the game. And so this is Captain America Super Soldier, right? Based on the movie?
Yep, that's right.
So what are we checking out here at E3?
Well, we're showing a new level that we haven't shown before. It's about an hour or so into the game. Captain America's come in and defeated the first few AA guns so that the invaders, who are based on the Howling Commandos from the comics, can drop in and help him take down Hydra's castle. So what you'll see here is Cap sort of ziplining down in after he's figured out that there's one more gun that he hasn't discovered yet. And it's this crazy invention of plasma gun that Hydra has invented. And he's got to face off against the top lieutenant in Hydra, which is Baron Strucker.
Now, you just want to set the scene a little bit. Is this before, after, during the movie? What's this based on for folks that haven't been following?
Yeah, the game is actually a totally separate and unique story from the movie. So in the movie, it's more of an origin story. It's about Steve Rogers becoming Captain America. In our game, you already are Captain America. He's out on his first mission. He's fighting against Hydra, and he's using the Howling Commandos, who he rescues in the movie, which you've probably seen from some of the trailers.
So Captain America, as far as superheroes go, kind of light on the really high-maintenance powers, right? He's got a shield and he hops around and he punches people in the face.
Yep.
How have you guys translated that into something that's a little more exciting for a game?
Well, it actually works out really well for a game because he doesn't fly, he doesn't have an invisible jet, he doesn't shoot lasers from his eyes. These are all difficult things to sort of package into one playable character. Instead, he's the ultimate brawler. He's the ultimate melee brawler, really. He can use his agility and his speed, but also his strength and endurance to take down multiple guys and use his shield like you're seeing right here. He's also got, like you said, his platforming or agility. That's how he navigates through the environment. You'll see that in a few minutes after he takes out these different guys. What he's doing here is he builds up his energy. He can unleash focus moves, which kill guys in one shot. So you saw him reverse the attack from the electrified Tonfa into the first guy, made an explosion, and took out some of the other guys.
And these are Hydra soldiers,
yeah.
Looks like. Now, I just saw him walk by some red barrels. Can I assume that they are explosive?
You can actually use the shield, yeah, just in targeting mode and throw it and explode everything around.
Nice. That would have been handy to do when people were standing by them, but it's still a nice look. All right, now we're seeing, okay, so he's got to set his charges here. How are the missions going to break down? You know, so right now we're planning charges, we're beating up some people. How's it kind of
Yeah, well, I don't want to give too much away of the story. It's still pretty early. We haven't revealed all that much, but what we have revealed is that the first prologue introductory chapter, Cap discovers some of these Hydra soldiers out on the battlefield and realizes if he doesn't put an end to their technology that they're going to turn the tide of the war. So his first mission is then to come in and defeat all the AA guns, bring them down so that the invaders and the Howling Commando, who are based on the Howling Commandos, can come in and help him out. Once he does that, then you can stop Arnim Zola, who's running all the experiments.
And hey, check it out. I think that's a familiar face for folks that are familiar with the comics.
Yep, Baron Strucker.
And he's got a little something behind his back for Cap.
Satan's Claw, yeah.
Yeah, so for folks that aren't familiar with what Satan's Claw is, do you want to?
Well, it's basically it's a bionic arm that's grafted onto Strucker, and our storyline, Arnim Zola creates all kinds of augmentation for the different Hydra troopers, and Baron Strucker was one of the first to receive that. And what's kind of cool is that we've been allowed to go out on our own and, like I said, tell our own unique story. So we've integrated Baron Strucker, we've also integrated Madam Hydra and Iron Cross, as well as Red Skull. So we've got all these different enemies, and we've kind of designed them in our own sort of vision for World War II.
Now, clearly you're using some of the likenesses from the film, and what I'm wondering is that Chris Evans' voice that we hear?
Yep.
Who else from the movie are we going to have in the game?
Well, we've got a number of the people. Chris Evans, obviously, sort of the key player.
That'd be best,
yeah. He's best. We've also got the other guys that are on his team, so Bucky and Dum Dum Dugan is there, as well as Peggy Carter, who's sort of his contact in the movie that tells him his orders over the radio.
And Bucky, we know not to get too attached to, because at some point, maybe not in the game, but we kind of know how that plays out for him.
Yeah. We liked, if you're familiar with the comic series, Brute Baker was a big inspiration for us, so we liked where he went with Winter Soldier. So Bucky's sort of a stronger character. He's not just Cap's sidekick in the game or in the movie.
It's not the dude that explodes. Very nicely done. So this is basically a boss fight, and it is Bionic Arm versus Super Soldier. He's doing all right.
He's doing pretty good. Yeah, he's holding his own.
As far as boss fights go, can we expect for Cap to be beating up familiar people, right? So
yeah, so all those guys that I mentioned, Baron Strucker's the first, but then you'll run into Iron Cross and Madam Hydra. Arnim Zola, actually, if you're familiar with Arnim Zola, he actually tries to, how would you say, transfer his consciousness into a robotic body. So you end up fighting him, as well as Red Skull, and there's also one villain that we haven't revealed yet at the very end. It's sort of the end cap.
Nicely done. And now we're seeing these little gymnastic. Look at him go. We're seeing all these little things. How much of this do we actually get in the game, or is this just special segments?
You get quite a bit of it. We wanted to sort of base the game, the mechanics on combat, but also on exploration, and through the exploration was his platforming, his agility, acrobatic agility to get and navigate through the environment. So you'll see little bits of that intermixed. You'll also see actually whole levels that you have to traverse that way.
Now I'm seeing a plane by the gun that looks like there could be some trouble. Does he
Yeah.
have to stop them?
Yeah, well, he's trying to stop the gun right here. He didn't know that this was actually there before he parachuted in. Now the invaders are coming in, and if he doesn't take out the gun, they're going to get shot down.
It's kind of a bummer for them.
Yeah, absolutely.
And how much room do you have with shield? Is he able to use it? Like, could he have taken everybody out with his shield as
Yeah.
opposed to just using his hands?
Yep, absolutely. So you can, we do quick throws, which you can just quickly throw the shield back. As you upgrade it, it'll ricochet off multiple guys. You can do aimed shield throws, which is kind of an over-the-shoulder perspective, like a third-person shooter. You can also use the shield to deflect incoming melee attacks, but also ranged attacks. So he can reflect bullets back at the guy who shot it at him.
And now this is the rewiring,
Hot wiring minigame.
the hot wiring minigame, yes.
Yeah, you have hot wiring minigames. You also have cipher boxes, which are kind of like a throwback to the old Enigma machines in World War II. Just to break it up a little bit, like I said, we wanted to keep people exploring the castle as well as just fighting the bad guys.
And dude is back with friends.
Yeah, round 2.
All right, now, comic game wouldn't be, it wouldn't be anything for the fans if there weren't little nods in there. So what kind of extra content, nods for, devout readers of the book can we expect to find in this game?
Yeah, well, one of the characters that I didn't mention who does play sort of a role is Baron Zemo. And so this was his castle before Hydra moved in and took the whole thing over. So throughout the entire environment, you'll find a bunch of different diaries of how Hydra took over. So it gives you a lot of backstory about Zemo and how Hydra came up into this mountainside castle. It'll also have background story on all of Arnim Zola's experiments, so what he's been doing since he's been in this castle. And those aren't just audio diaries, those are actually like film reels. So people who want to explore everything, find all those collectibles can.
Now, in terms of unlockable content, can we expect like maybe some skins or whatever? Because Cap's had a couple outfits.
Yeah, well, we wanted to do the ultimate skin, which is my personal favorite. He's got the infantry helmet from 1942. We also had to do the classic Cap, too, with the red, white, and blue, the red boots, the red gloves. So that's in there, too.
Nicely done. All right. Well, next big question is going to be, when's the game coming out?
July 19th. It's coming out for, what you're seeing right here is Xbox 360, but it's also on PS3, Wii, and DS.
Well, thanks much, Morgan. There you go, and that is your look at what Sega's showing off of Captain America at E3. We're going to have a lot more from the stage, so let's go there now. Hey everybody, we have a little special treat for you from the E3